I like to practice what I call financial flexibility. I do realize that saving money is important because you never know when an emergency will happen, but I also think it's important just to live life.
Financial literacy is probably one of the most important things you can learn, and it doesn't have to look like someone else's. It doesn't have to look like a millionaire by 30. It can just be a safety cushion. It can be $5,000, $10,000 in a year, $2,000 in a year, $600. It can be anything as long as you start somewhere. I got 4 tips that are super easy for you to save money. If I can do it, like I feel like anyone can do it. I started out, I was making like $700 a week, working part-time, super part-time. I don't know, it just kind of got me to thinking like I need to really get on having some sort of nest egg. My number one tip is to have your checking and your savings accounts separate if possible at different banks. Give yourself that extra step to have to touch your savings. Don't make it easy for yourself to touch your savings, basically. Out of sight, out of mind. I remember having a checking and a savings account, and I would like pull from my savings and put it in my checking so much. I remember them sending me something in the mail like, you've already made 8 transactions this month. You can't do that. Like, it's a savings account. A couple months later, that's what happens. I actually, like I said, already had a checking account. So it was either they turn your savings into a checking or they just close it completely. So I already had a checking, so they just closed my savings account completely. Whatever money was in there, they put it in my checking account, and I no longer had a savings account with Chase. That turned out to be actually a good thing, because from there, I was forced to open a savings account somewhere. That leads into my tip number 2, which is getting an online bank for a savings account. If you get an online bank for a savings account, it's not as easy to just go to the ATM or to withdraw money. It's not easy. This goes into my next tip, which is make that online savings account a high interest one, the one where you get a high interest. With savings accounts, your money just sits there, and that's the money that the bank uses to give out loans. They get interest on these loans, and you get a piece of that basically to keep your money there in that savings account so they can keep using it. Most traditional banks, most of the household name banks, they give you 0.01% interest. If you find a high yield interest savings, like mine right now is 0.4, so I make about $12, $13 a year. Yeah. So without this app, I don't know where I would be with my savings. Probably not very far. I'm so thankful for this app. This is not sponsored by them. I've just been using them for like the last 4 years, basically. And that app is Capital. Capital, for me, again, it's out of sight, out of mind. If I pay myself without even thinking about it, or if money just goes without me even thinking about it, that's what works for me the best. It's called Round Up, and it rounds up $4. It'll be pulling it into my savings, which is another separate thing. I spend is $4, and it wasn't always that high. When I wasn't making that much money, I think I rounded up 50 cents. To start, I rounded up to 50 cents, and over time I went more and more, rounded up to $1, $2, $3. And I have I'm doing also the 52-week rule, which is the first week you save $1, second week $2, 3, 4, etc. For all 52 weeks. This is actually my 2nd year doing that. So I'm almost through another year, which is crazy. And at the end of the 52-week challenge, you have about $1,300. But that's in addition to other, like a deposit into my account over $1,000. It automatically saves 10%. The higher interest rate. Their banks have their own rules on how your account is eligible for that high percent. And so with Citibank, I have to make a $100 deposit to that savings account per month to keep my high interest, which is another win, because it's like that just forces me to save money as well. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of thought, out of mind. If I'm saving money automatically, that's just like the best thing you can do for yourself. Especially if you like to be frivolous, which I like to be frivolous a lot. But to know that when I'm spending money, I'm also saving money with every time. You can't beat that. There are a few honorable mentions. These are the do it at your own risk kind of things. But I also use Fundrise. Fundrise is kind of like a crowd-funded real estate investment. So, for example, a house costs $3 million. The developers, whatever, they go to Fundrise. They get that from people like us who put our money into this Fundrise. So you are part holder in, you know, some real estate, which, as you know, is not like guaranteed, but it is a good investment. So it's not like something I'm telling you that you're gonna make $1 million on, but it is a good investment. If your money's just gonna sit anyway, why not? The Fundrise says that they get you about 12% back on your money per year, but you have to park it for 5 years, and I've had it for the last 3 years now, and I think I've made almost $1,000, which is like if my money was staying in a savings account anyway. Honorable mention is Coinbase. I put some money down in there, but you know, those things are not for sure. Capital, I recommend Capital all the time. I can't recommend it enough. I hope you liked this video. Hope it was informative. If so, please subscribe to me, follow me on Instagram. I'm just a regular girl who is navigating this world and I'm doing the best I can.